on lesson 28, and it is understanding half, thirds, and fourths in shapes. So we're going to look at the think it through. How do you divide shapes into 2, 3, or 4 equal parts? Now, a big main word that you need to remember is the word equal. So we have to, when we do this, all of the shapes have to be equal parts. So the circles are divided into equal parts. You use the number of equal parts to name the parts. So the first circle, they have cut that circle into 1/2. If I was going to write 1/2, it would look like this. So there are 2 parts, so the 2 goes on the bottom, and they're 1 part shaded, so my 1 would go on the top. That's what 1/2 would look like. On the next one, where you see the blue, it is 1/3. So that circle is cut into 1, 2, it's cut into 3 parts. So if I was going to write that, it would be 3, and I'm going to put my line over top, and there's 1 blue part, so that is 1/3. That's what 1/3 looks like. So my next one is cut into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's why it's called 1/4, because 1 of the 4 parts is shaded in. All right. So let's look at the middle. Think. Equal parts cover an equal amount of the shape. Think about sharing a sandwich with a friend. You want each piece to be the same size. So where you see the red lines in those squares, it says these squares show equal parts, so each person gets the same amount. So this part and this part is the same exact size. Same with the second square. This part and this part is the same size. They are cut differently, but it does not change the size. But this square over here and this square, one part is larger than the other. So this part is much larger than this little part right here. So that is not equally cut into halves. So it says, draw another way you could share a sandwich equally with a friend. Use the square at the right. So I'm going to let you think about that for a second and try to let you do that on your own before I step in. So you're going to cut that square into 2 equal parts, but you have to use a different way than they showed you. So we've already done diagonal. We've already done straight up and down. So what you're going to try to do as equally as you can is go straight across. All right. Now we're going to, go scroll down, and we're going to go to the next page if I can figure out how to stop writing and to scroll. There we go. All right. Oh no, sorry guys, having a little technical difficulties here. All right, here we go. I am definitely new to all this technology that we are trying to do right here, so I'm not sure where my pen went. Let's see. No, I want to write again. I know that you guys in my class are not surprised by me having this difficulty right now. Mark up. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Let you know how imperfect us teachers are as well. We make mistakes as well as you all do sometimes, and it's okay. Gotta learn from our mistakes. So here we go. Page 265. Think. Equal parts can have different shapes. These squares are all the same. Each smaller shape covers 1/4 of the square. So each smaller shape is an equal part of the square. So if you look at these squares, they are all divided into 4 parts. On the side where the little monster is, he says, think, divide the square in half, then divide each half in half again. So on this one, they divided their square into half, and then they wanted to do half again so that could make fourths. So fourths have 4 parts. These squares are the same as the ones above. So the second set of squares are same as the ones above. But they are divided into 3 equal parts, or thirds. So each smaller shape is equal part of the square. All right. So I know that when you're probably looking at these 2 squares right here, you're thinking, well, to me that doesn't look like it's an equal part. So if I were to take this space right here, it's going to be about the same as this space right here, even though it doesn't look like it. But this space is skinnier and wider, and this space is shorter and fatter. So it is going to be the same. All right. Draw 2 squares that are the same size as the ones above. Divide one into fourths and one into thirds in different ways. So we can't do the same way that they did above. We have to choose a different way. Let's erase my mess up there. So we're going to choose a different way to divide it, but we have to divide it into thirds and we have to divide it into fourths. All right. So I'm going to do my best to come down here at this extra space down here. And I think my square is already a little bit bigger than theirs, but we're just going to do the very best that we can do. Okay, so the first one, I am going to go ahead and divide that into fourths, but I got to remember I can't use the way that they used. So I'm going to go across like this, and I'm going to do my very best to make all of my fourths about the equal, as best as I can, equal as possible. I know that when we're drawing it by ourselves, sometimes it's harder to be drawing that perfectly. So there's my fourths, and then I need to do thirds. So I am going to go up and down for the thirds. And I did really, really bad with that, so I'm going to erase that and I'm going to try it again, because that just does not look great. Alright, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Alright, let's try to be a little bit better this time. Go away. Alright, here we go. Oh, that's better. Not perfect, but better. Alright, so it says, which parts are bigger, the fourths or thirds, and explain. So I'm going to give you a second to think about that. What do you think is bigger? Is the thirds or the fourths bigger? Alright, so the thirds are bigger. Thirds are bigger because why do you think they're bigger? The more we cut our square, the smaller the pieces are going to be. So, because the pieces are not cut as many times. And I'm sure there's probably a better way for me to explain that to you all. So my sentence isn't perfect, but if I were, so I have, let's see, I'm going to make me another square to show you all. I have a square. I'm going to cut it into halves. Those are pretty big sizes. Then I'm going to cut it into fourths. As you can see, my sizes just got even smaller. So the more I cut it up, the smaller my boxes are going to get. All right.